It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, it'll be the Detroit Pistons going up against the Miami Heat. Looking at Miami, playing under 500 basketball over the last 10 games. They can do better. They'll try to get on the winning side tonight. Kenny, I'll tell you what.
What?
We've already seen some big matchups to start this season. It's very early.
Yes.
But in the real world, how soon do you start thinking about playoff ramifications?
Oh, you start thinking about playoffs from day one.
Oh,
the end
come
goal
on.
is always some.
But you're not thinking about
it's
where you
always
are. Hey,
somewhere in
right
your
now
mind.
we'd play these guys.
Yes,
you know.
always. And I look at them in 5-game blocks. I would be like, hey, man, in these 5 games, we need to be here for the playoffs. After these 5, we need to be here. Because that's, if you don't, it could get out of control and out of your control.
I can tell just from his reaction of shaking his head that he's not buying what you're selling.
Don't listen to that jibber-jabber, Ernie. You focus on one game at a time. The rest will just take care of itself.
So you go less than I do.
One game at a time,
I went
take care of
5-game
itself.
blocks. You went
and then if you need to make an
time.
adjustment, you don't wait. You just
When
make
did you
the
think about
adjustments.
playoffs then?
When playoff time came around.
So not like early on in the season you weren't thinking playoffs
man.
like Kenny was.
Can't control the future. Only I can.
It didn't work that time. Nothing showed up in your hand.
Nothing.
It doesn't always work that way. What do you think this is, some video game? Kevin Harlan, take it away.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The Star-Spangled Banner, sung by musical artist Linda Lynn. Welcome, everyone, to this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, along with Greg Anthony and Brent Berry. David Aldridge will be reporting from the sidelines. For the Miami Heat, they're coming off a loss to the Jazz. And that was a real body blow for them. They got taken apart both offensively and defensively.
And simply put, they couldn't score. They never got completely in sync in that one.
And this is when you look at the opposition and give them some credit with their defensive effort, just a higher level of energy and focus. They were disruptive.
And nothing tips off a broadcast like getting the lowdown from the sidelines. And we've got David Aldridge there for that. David, good evening.
Well, guys, Stan Van Gundy has coached the likes of Alonzo Mourning, Shaquille O'Neal, and Dwight Howard. But he said, as a rebounder, Andre Drummond is as good as anybody, if not the best that I've ever been around. He just goes out and gets the ball. Drummond said it's just a will. The will to get the ball most people won't jump for. I just put myself out there. Kevin?
Thanks, D.A. And Drummond is just a hulk of a man. He's really the backbone of this team. Some prime-time rebounders here going head-to-head, shot blockers, controlling the rim. Brent, what's a mental makeup that you see of a terrific rebounder?
Well, really all about effort, and I think sometimes we don't do our diligence in terms of talking about great rebounders with how they set up well before the shot, Kevin. There are plenty of guys that grab 4 or 5 rebounds a game, but don't think about the shooter and where they're shooting from. Some of the great rebounders in our game understand where the ball is going to fly off the rim and get themselves in position early and often to do so.
I thought Dennis Rodman was maybe the best I've ever seen at his size do just that.
You know why, Kevin, is that they never asked him to shoot the ball, so that's all he had to think about.
Right. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. On the court for the Heat, Olynyk down low with Whiteside. Dragic and Waiters, they're the backcourt. And it's Richardson in at the 3 spot. Now here's Bradley. And it's blocked by Whiteside. And there's the call on Andre Drummond. That is his first foul of the game. And it's the Heat with the ball. Down low. Here's Richardson. That one doesn't go. Now the Pistons take it the other way. They're coming into this game off that recent loss to Atlanta.
No other way to put it. The defense was awful. Completely uninspired at that end of the floor.
Yeah, scanning the box score here, and you could just see the turnover differential failing to cause any sort of mistakes. And then on the offensive end, just a lack of focus.
And now just over a minute played here in the first. They double him with Drummond. Detroit with the ball. Harris against Richardson. Shoots from the baseline and off the front iron, and in it goes. Just around a minute and a half into the first quarter. Olynyk can't hit.
Yeah, and something we always talk about, though, shot selection.
Well, being aggressive is one thing, but aggression with control is another, and you need both elements working together.
Now here's Bradley. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Atlanta.
He also did a masterful job in that game of drawing a lot of fouls, so he's creating havoc for the defense.
Now here's Richardson following the missed shot by Tobias Harris. Jackson against Dragic. Over Jackson. Rebound Andre Drummond.
Oh, you just relish those kind of opportunities, and the defense got lucky, but they need to guard that area of the floor a little bit better.
And where's the help? Obviously a missed rotation, something they're going to want to patch up.
Well, you have to be able to trust each other on the defensive end of the floor, otherwise the whole thing is just going to crumble.
Here's Dragic following the score by Avery Bradley, and it's slammed in by Whiteside.
And nice court vision from Dragic there to get a great look at the bucket.
Jackson kicks to Drummond. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot two right here.
And watching Andre Drummond play, he's really just an old school type center. I mean, he eats up space in the middle and finishes plays in close. Not a skilled guy who can pull a defender away from the basket.
Free throw good, Drummond. And with Drummond, he does play like towering centers of decades past.
Yeah, I mean, he isn't great at moving the ball around or hitting shots from range, but his size and athleticism are elite and one of the best rebounders in our game.
He's perfect from the line this time.
Yeah, I don't know if any big man has the combination of strength, speed, and hops that Drummond has, not to mention his length, an unreal physical specimen.
And it's sent back by Drummond. Bradley, no one around him. Misses off the left iron.
You got to be a little bit questioning of the defense, because I'm sure they feel foolish for giving that guy that look, but they survived it.
Now here's Richardson taking a look at the scoring numbers. Right now he averages about 9 points a game. Near the three-point line, it's Dragic. The step back jumper is good.
And that's why you have to love how good a floor general Dragic can be. Fantastic pick and roll there.
Jackson kicks to Harris. Back to Jackson. Detroit, no good that time either. Stolen by Jackson. And that's a foul. It's called on Reggie Jackson. That is his first foul of the game. The Heat trail by 4. And here is Waiters. He's coming off a 13-point game against the Utah Jazz. Shoots off the screen. Rebound, Detroit. This, of course, their first chance to play Miami this season.
And last year, an entertaining season series between the two ended up battling to a draw.
Yeah, these two teams were so similar in so many ways last season, both in the standings and on the court. Very interested to find out who has the edge this time around.
And the shot goes down.
That's a gorgeous assist. Outstanding at finding his guys in the spots where they want the basketball.
Dragic against Bradley. Dragic kicks to Whiteside. There's the dish to Waiters. And then Waiters with the jam.
And a cued in Hassan Whiteside on that play. Great at playing within the offense and then spotting the open man.
Harris a screen on Richardson. Jackson dishes to Lewis. A three-pointer off the mark. The Heat trail by 4. And there's Richardson. That's good on the assist by Dragic. Richardson's got his first bucket in this one. Bradley passes to Lewis. Outside Jackson. And the bucket counts. 3-point chance here.
What a play there. The hoop plus the harm.
The last season for Reggie Jackson, he just couldn't get back to full strength. Missed a lot of time, Greg, as you know, with that injury to start the year. And even when he returned, his legs wouldn't cooperate and give him his usual burst and acceleration.
Yeah, and you could see it in Jackson's performance and really the numbers. Steep drop in production from what he had been putting up and very dependent on his burst. So hopefully he can avoid any leg troubles moving forward. And Jackson certainly doesn't lack confidence. A speedy guard who can fill it up in no time.
Inside, here's Dragic. That one doesn't drop. Some solid defense from Harris. Detroit leading by 5. And Lure kicks to Jackson. Pass to Drummond. And Drummond throws it down.
You could see Drummond's eyes light up once he knew that finish was coming. He didn't waste the chance. Boy, did he get his money's worth on that one.
And so here is Miami after the basket by Detroit. Dragic kicks to Whiteside. And stolen by Drummond. And they're running. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact and he'll shoot 2.
Yeah, good job to take it right at the D.
The new year getting ramped up. Always a roller coaster ride, which is fun. Brent, have you ever been on a team that, say, started slowly, then really turned it on late, or the other way around?
Well, I've been on teams that started slowly and finished slower, Kevin, if that helps you out at all. That's no
well, that's
fun.
Not good.
Yeah, no fun whatsoever. A little bit of both throughout 14 years of playing experience in the NBA, Kevin, and it's just interesting. This is why coaches are so often talking about asking for players to be on the roster to give you consistent effort and to try to stay as even-keeled as possible, whether things are going well or your team is performing poorly. You know there's still a standard at which you want each of your guys to perform at and consistently give you that effort.
No luck that time either.
And probably the one constant of this Miami team the last few years has been their defense. They do a great job of making life difficult for opposing shooters, and it's been anchored by one of the best shot blockers in the game with Whiteside.
And the Miami defense is more than just Whiteside blocking shots, as you might say. Greg, they do a great job of limiting opponents' threes.
Yeah, they challenge the 3-ball as well as anybody. Both contest the shot and close out to deny the attempt from even being taken. This roster does a great job of taking away space from shooters.
No good on the free throw.
And when you look at what the Pistons have done, pretty clear this is a team that has a vision of who they want to be. Strong defensively, really good at rebounding the basketball, and I think deliberate and patient on the offensive side of the floor.
The Pistons making a change here. Smith has checked in. James Johnson's checked in for Miami. He hits the second from the line. And with the Pistons, this has been the identity the team has been aiming for under Stan Van Gundy. It's taken shape, but has yet, Greg, to produce big results.
I think it's because they've just always been one or two pieces short of making that next jump. I think the conference has gotten stronger, and while their best players are really good, I don't think they're quite at that elite level yet to allow this group to take that next step.
Sneaky quickness allowing waiters to penetrate through the defense to get the strong finish.
Smith against Dragic. Here's Harris. It's good, the assist that time from Smith.
Yeah, and there it is again. On a lot of their possessions this first half, they've established great inside position.
And then Johnson with the jam.
Oh, Kev, he put some anger behind that one.
You're telling me. Dragic against Smith. At the elbow, it's Harris. Over in the corner, Lure. Smith with a wide open look. Drummond. Miami grabs the miss. Whiteside's got rebound number 5 here tonight. Richardson, and he uses the glass on the layup. Now just a 2-point Detroit lead.
Yeah, 3 consecutive field goals have come right at the rim. The D had better start buckling down.
The drive by Jackson. And here's Harris from the arc. That one's all good. Now he's 3 for 5 from the field.
And this quarter has been all about him. You feel every shot he's going to take is going in.
Richardson with it. 5 points in the game. Whiteside, a screen on Jackson. Up off the screen. Oh, and he plucks it off the glass. Wow. Whiteside, good. Here's Jackson. He's coming off a 13-point game against Atlanta. Over in the corner. Lure. 3-pointer. And another 3 for Detroit.
Yeah, that's 2 straight 3-pointers they've allowed.
Dragic kicks to Johnson. Here's the screen. Right side a screen. Just 5 on the clock. A shot by Johnson, no good.
Gotta make those shots. Not sure how he missed it. The defense was just okay.
Smith in the post. He's guarded by Dragic. Harris misses. The Heat trail by 6. Now here's Waiters. He's definitely a factor in their offense, averaging 12 points a game. Here's Dragic. Keeps it alive, and Whiteside stays right with it. Whiteside's got 6.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
And now the first timeout called here for Detroit. And mostly with Whiteside on the offensive end, he's there to clean up the misses, finish a play with a dunk.
And the footwork of Whiteside continues to improve. He does a really good job of shielding the ball when stepping through towards the rim and gets himself in great position to collect lobs when the guys on the perimeter find some space in the gaps. And that's a huge target to throw the ball up to.
Here's what Detroit's going with right now. Marjanovic checked in for Andre Drummond. Henry Ellenson comes in for Lure. Johnson, he's checked in for Tobias Harris. And it's Kennard in for Reggie Jackson. Now here's Ellenson, currently averaging almost 6 points a game. Johnson left side, shoots from 14. And it's Miami with the rebound. Here's Johnson, battles through traffic and lays it in.
Now that's how you pick up second chance points. Stay active and be ready as soon as the shot goes up.
Ellenson with a screen for Smith. Dishes it to Ellenson over Johnson. Takes a big high bounce and goes in.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Pass to Magruder. To the middle. Here's Adebayo. And the rejection by Marjanovic. And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Marjanovic. A minute 50 left to play in the first. Count that one. And Detroit has possession. Here's Kennard. Looking for his first basket still in this one. To the wing right side. There's a screen by Marjanovic. Top of the key. A rebound by Johnson.
Yeah, bad shot there. Trust is lacking. You got to be willing to make the extra pass.
Yeah, just too anxious to try and make something happen out there. This is about the team, not about you.
Ellinson's shot is off. Miami trailing. Here's the teardrop. Johnson can't hit. Detroit's gone 2 of 5 from three-point land here in the first quarter. Smith against Johnson. Smith kicks to Ellinson. Johnson attacking, and it's a defensive 3-second violation. The Pistons shooting their 6th attempt at the charity stripe in the game.
And one thing that you can say about this Pistons team is they are fundamentally sound, strong on the glass and closing out possessions, and they really don't make a lot of mistakes.
Nice ball movement by Detroit. Oh, and a fast break for the Heat. Here's Magruder. Up again.
And already they've staked out a noticeable advantage in terms of aggression and controlling the backboard.
Smith with it, and it's Johnson picking him up. Ellinson kicks to Johnson. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. That one's on Johnson. The Pistons shooting their 7th and 8th free throw attempts for the game right here.
And 75% on the season as a unit from the free throw line.
First free throw is good. And Johnson drops them both.
You just have to be more disciplined. I mean, too many fouls and free throw attempts for the opponent.
Here's Magruder. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. There's the pick. Johnson the screen, 4 on the clock. There's Winslow. And too long on the shot.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that.
Back to the action after this word. And forward James Johnson battled his way back into the league after some stints abroad. He talked about his approach to the game.
I play the game how it's supposed to be played. I play offense, I play defense, I rebound, steals, blocks. You know, I'm pretty much that guy who likes to work hard and don't want anybody to beat him out, you know, except the challenge.
That's exactly the kind of hard-nosed, old-school attitude that coaches just love.
Kevin, and so do his teammates. I mean, a guy like that brings out the best in everybody on that team. They just kind of feed off of his effort and desire.
Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And what stands out to you from the Pistons so far in this one?
For me, that defense in the first period, just tremendous shot blocking.
Yeah, that prevented some points, didn't it? Also, how you have that intimidation factor going early on. You wonder if in the fourth quarter they'll think back to the first.
On the court for Miami here in the second, Adebayo is out there with James Johnson. Then it's Justice Winslow. Then it's Johnson, and it's Magruder in at the 2. Now here's Johnson. Here's Kennard. And there's the pass to Marjanovic. Here's Kennard. Stolen by Winslow. It's 2-on-1 for the finish, and the dunk by Winslow.
Well, Winslow does it all. Steal plus the layup.
And that replay presented by Under Armour, showing us the fantastic steal that led to that fast break finish. Another unleashed chaos moment. Here's Marjanovic. Last game he had 10 points. Here's Magruder. Good D by Johnson.
Yeah, I think the defense made an impact on that play, making the shooter feel a bit uncomfortable on release.
Count it.
Textbook. Nice pass. Great catch. Even better finish.
The Heat trail by 5. Johnson kicks to Johnson. Johnson the screen. Out to the right wing. Passes it to Johnson. Shot clock at 6. Pulls it from the elbow. A tad short, but it's good off the front iron.
Can't lose sight of TJ behind the defense, especially in those situations involving screens. You love how well he's working off them. I don't think anybody around the league does this, but a lot of fans do. Eric Spoelstra won 2 championships while in Miami as the head coach of the Heat. Of course, he had the big 3, but he was the one that orchestrated and got those guys to work things out to become title contenders for the years they were together.
Here's Smith following the score by James Johnson. Smith dishes to Ellenson. Johnson the screen. Ellenson passes to Smith. He feeds it to Johnson. It's Adebayo with the rebound. And Brett, I was looking up what you said about Spoelstra and his multiple NBA titles. Less than 15 coaches ever have done that.
I mean, you're an incredibly special coach to be on that kind of list, and you feel like Eric Spoelstra doesn't quite get the recognition from the general NBA public, certainly amongst the coaching ranks. These guys look at what Eric Spoelstra was able to do with that roster and marvel at the young guys' efforts and exploits during that time.
All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, Miami's Eric Spoelstra is known for his focus and his devotion to work. How does he stay centered? Yoga. He said, I like it because you have to keep your eyes on your own mat. If you're not focused on the spot in front of you, you'll fall over. And Kevin, that mindfulness translates across the board.
Mindfulness. That's an interesting way to look at things, D.A. Spo is a great communicator. Knows how to certainly get through to his team. For Detroit, they have gone 6 of 8 from the free throw line tonight. That free throw, no good. We've heard the rumors, Brent, the death of the big man, but with guys like Towns and Porzingis and others entering the league that can play on the perimeter and still have that length to make a difference inside, could we see a big man renaissance, or at least maybe see him have more of an impact than people are giving him credit for right now?
Well, I think what we're seeing is the evolution of the 5 spot, Kevin. So it's not that the big man is lost, it's that the big man's doing a lot of the things that the little man used to be asked to do, and that is shooting threes, handle the ball, make some decisions at the top of the key, be a playmaker. It's fascinating to watch guys with this sort of size and this sort of skill, and also being this young, having such a tremendous impact for the organizations they're playing for.
Now here's Winslow. Back to Olynyk. Heat moving the ball around. From deep three-point range, the Heat keep it going. A new 24-second shot clock. The shot by Adebayo, no good. The Pistons have gone 2 of 3 from the field here to open the second quarter. Here's Smith. Rebound by Olynyk. Miami's gone 0 of 2 from deep here in the second. Winslow with it. Now guarded by Bradley. Johnson kicks to Magruder. On the wing, Winslow. He's guarded by Johnson. Screen by Olynyk. Plenty of space. Rebounded by the Pistons. Now here is Smith. There's a screen by Marjanovic. Bradley passes to Marjanovic. It's Adebayo with the rebound. Adebayo's got 3 rebounds now in this one. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Ish Smith. That is his first foul of the game. And a different look here for the Pistons. Andre Drummond's checked in for Marjanovic. John Lure comes in for Henry Ellenson. Tobias Harris is checked in for Stanley Johnson. And it's Jackson in for Ish Smith. And then for Miami, Whiteside's checked in for Adebayo. Waiters comes in for Rodney Magruder. And it's Dragic in for Tyler Johnson.
Out quickly, then the beautiful execution. You can't do it any better.
There's running the floor, and then there's running the floor with purpose. And I love the energy on this play.
Dragic gets the bucket. Dragic has got the game tied up here for the Heat.
Well, getting the ball off the dribble to the bucket is one of Dragic's strengths. You can't afford to let him get that close to the rim, or he's going to get you.
Drummond the screen. Bradley kicks to Jackson. No good with the triple. For Miami, they've gone 5 of 12 from the field here in the second. Dragic dishes to Waiters. Winslow setting the pick for Waiters. And there's the feed to Winslow. Screen by Olynyk. Here's Whiteside, and he sinks the shot coming off the strong pick. Whiteside's got 8 points.
He used that screen to perfection and got a wide open look to knock down the jumper.
Feeds it to Drummond. He dishes it to Jackson. Jackson missing again. For Miami, they've gone 6 of 13 so far from the field here in the second quarter. Right side, the pass to Dragic. Winslow wide open. He fires, and it's off from three-point range.
Well, you know, they're in the lead, but he's still been frustrated from an offensive standpoint.
Jackson kicks to Harris. It is now to Lure. Bradley passes to Drummond. The Pistons need to get off a shot here. Bradley can't get it to go. The Heat with the lead. Winslow kicks to Dragic. Pass to Olynyk. The three. It's hauled in by Harris. The Pistons have gone just 33% from the field in what's been a cold second quarter for them. Just 3 of 9. Kept alive. Drummond. And Drummond throws it down.
And not afraid to say it. If Drummond isn't the best rebounder in the NBA, he's got to be in the top 3. That goes for both ends of the floor. Just no way to hold him in check on the board.
Now here's Waiters. Right side a screen. Shoots the 3. They get it back. Another shot. Good D by Drummond.
And forcing the miss there, he just knows how to pressure you defensively.
You hear a lot about rim protection. This is a good example of how valuable it can be.
Here's Lure. He's coming off a 10-point game against Atlanta.
I also thought he did a tremendous job in terms of timing in that game, swatting away some shots. Ended up with 3 blocks in that game.
Well, Greg, Justice Winslow had a year that he'd like to forget. His second season in the NBA. Only played in the 18 games before sitting out the rest of the way after a torn labrum.
And we're just happy to see the young man back out on the floor so that he can continue to develop. Always a fantastic defender. And you forget, still a very young player who can round into a contributor, I believe, on offense. Yeah, the defender all over him.
The Pistons have shot 70% from the free throw line tonight, 7 for 10. And that drops, so they now lead by 1.
And really an interesting move by the Pistons, in effect shedding 2 starters in Contavious Caldwell-Pope and Marcus Morris for 1 in Avery Bradley. Stan Van Gundy clearly valued Bradley's leadership and playoff experience.
The Heat making a switch here. Richardson's checked in. And so Bradley nails both of them.
And Avery Bradley, an unrestricted free agent after this season. The Pistons have made it clear they're willing to pay the luxury tax to retain his services.
Now here's Dragic. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against the Utah Jazz.
Ball movement was critical in this game. It did not stick with any one player, so his passing was on point, and he really picked apart the defense.
And there are a lot of things to like about Hassan Whiteside's game, but one is his focus on his ability to rebound.
Well, so many nights where you look at the stat sheet and Whiteside collecting 15, 18, 20 rebounds. That is a guy who's dominating the glass, and that can give you confidence as a defender that your big man is going to take care of any miss.
And the first one drops.
Nice stroke from the line by Whiteside. You know, he's only going to get better from there with some practice.
And both free throws good from Whiteside. As we've seen, many teams play a little bit of a soft zone defensively. What's the best way, you think, Brent, to counteract that when you're trying to run your half-court offense?
Well, the best way to counteract anybody who's softening up on the backside of the zone is to overload that side of the court, Kevin. So now all of a sudden, if you make a shift with more players on one side of the floor, there's no way for 3 to cover 2 on the backside. That's where teams can gain incredible advantage.
Richardson dishes to Dragic. Back to Richardson. He kicks to Whiteside. Over Drummond, and it's sent back by Drummond.
Drummond mixes defensive smarts with elite physical tools, and that's what makes him a solid defender. He's going to get his hands on a few shots each and every game.
Clock at 4. Here's Olynyk.
Oof, ugly second quarter for him, and now I think he's starting to really force the issue. And he shows us all what the breakaway rim was invented for.
Can you believe he almost brought the whole thing down by hanging on that long? And here's Dragic, one of the dependable scorers on the team. He's averaging close to 17 points a game. And there's the call on Andre Drummond. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far.
Yeah, looking up at the scoreboard, guys, that's his 3rd foul, and his coach has to consider now sitting him down.
And it's the Heat with the ball. 4-point game. Bradley against Waiters. Richardson the pass to Olynyk. Here's Whiteside, and the jam by Whiteside.
Well, sending out the memo to the team, get Whiteside the rock. Everything he's touching right now is going in.
Harris a screen on Dragic. Jackson kicks to Harris. Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
And he'll be shooting his first free throw of the game here.
And examining his numbers this season, we can see that he's been an exceptional free throw shooter, right around 85.
Kennard, he's checked in for the Pistons. The free throw off from Harris.
Have to appreciate the way that the Miami Heat team plays defensively. They're aggressive on their closeouts and challenges, trying to take away the three-point shot. And the rim protection is right there with Whiteside, so they can funnel everybody right to the big man.
Now here's Jackson. He's got 8. And Harris gets it to go on the assist by Jackson. And that's 11 points for Tobias Harris. The Heat trail by 6. Right side a screen. Shoots off the screen. Doesn't get it to drop for him.
Well, I like the shot selection. I don't like the shot result. Won't happen much.
Lure dishes to Harris. Back to Lure from deep. And that's a foul. It's called on Reggie Jackson. That's foul number 2 for him. Ellinson's checked in for Lure. The Heat also changing it up. Johnson comes in for Kelly Olynyk, and it's Tyler Johnson in for Goran Dragic. The Heat shooting just 29% in the second quarter. The offense is suffering. And it's Johnson penetrating, and that's out of bounds. Miami will retain possession. Rodney McGruder's checked in for the Heat. Off the inbound. Detroit with the rebound. Detroit with the ball. They're on a 12-4 run right now. The drive by Jackson. And he uses the glass on the layup. And now it's an 8-point Detroit lead.
That's good passing down low. He's good at working the ball deep into the post.
Johnson kicks to Whiteside. Dishes it to Richardson. Pass to Johnson. Johnson the screen. Just 5 on the clock. Good ball movement here by the Heat. On deep. Here's Whiteside. And it's in. Basket number 6 for him thus far. He has only missed 2 shots from the floor.
And they really haven't made much of an impact on the offensive glass here in the second quarter. There's been a significant drop-off in that area.
Now here's Jackson. 8 points for him. Kicks it to Ellenson for 3. And Reggie Jackson gets the 3. Jackson's got 11 points.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
I just really like how Tyler distributes the basketball, skilled at quickly getting the ball over to the open man.
1 second separating the shot clock and game clock. There's the pick. Jackson kicks to Harris. No good off the back of the rim. And that does it for the first half of play. The Pistons on top, up by 7. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. James, you came out and you were really productive. In fact, the whole bench was productive.
Yeah, of course. You know, that's what the second unit's for. We go hard in practice. We know we can play with the best of them. And we just want to give our first guys, the first group, a lift.
You certainly did, James. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, Dave, thank you. And time now for the halftime break with the third quarter soon to follow right here on 2K Sports.
And now, the 2K Sports halftime show.
The first half in the books. This is Ernie Johnson. This is Shaquille O'Neal. This is Ken Smith. Welcome back.
Ken,
as we break down the action. The story early on was Reggie Jackson, who was on fire. He had 11 points, 5 assists, and 1 steal. Taking a look at the Pistons, Shaq, what did you think?
Well, Kenny should appreciate this. I love the ball movement. They were in sync as a unit, and their assist numbers were impressive. Anytime you get 5 players working together like that instead of one guy doing it alone, it's always going to be a boost. That's the primary reason they're in control of the game.
Kenny, what'd you think about Miami?
to me, they looked out of sync shooting the basketball. Under 40% for the first half. Some of it was poor shot selection, but mostly it just looked like they were out of rhythm. For the second half, they need to push more for buckets in transition. Get to the foul line a little bit more. Try to get back in the flow.
And time now to send you back down to the floor with Kevin Harlan. We'll see you later.
And the second half about to start here in just a few moments. You look at Hassan Whiteside in this game. Guys, he's everywhere.
And how about that? Already through 2 quarters and some change, he's got a double-double.
Well, it's an impressive performance thus far, but it goes beyond just his ability. Right now, he's just simply outworking the opponent.
Detroit leading by 7. Jackson and Bradley are in the backcourt. Lure and Drummond together down low. And it's Harris in at the 3, the small forward. That's the group starting the second half for Stan Van Gundy. And Drummond throws it down.
And guys, isn't it great to see a player who works that hard on the glass at both ends?
Well said, G. That's the way he has built, you know, his reputation. Grinding away 100% effort all the time.
And then uses his explosiveness once he's gathered the rebound to throw it down.
Oh, power flush with a long hang on the rim at the end of that.
That could be a catalyst for him. It really could. Bradley sets the pick for Jackson to the inside. And Lure wide open. He shoots it, and he can't extend the lead to double digits.
Frozen. Guys just ice cold, unable to contribute offensively.
And here in the second half of play, we're just over a minute in. Dragic against Jackson. 4 on the shot clock. Richardson for 3, and that's good. And it's Dragic with the assist. Richardson's got 8 points.
A good sense right there of Richardson understanding space and that he could get there. Nice pull-up.
Jackson passes to Harris. And it's Whiteside with the rebound. Whiteside's got 15 rebounds here tonight.
And they've only connected on 1 of 4 to start the half. Their offense is sputtering just a little bit here.
Now the pass to Lure. He feeds it to Harris. And stolen by Whiteside. Richardson, that's a 2-pointer. Richardson missing again.
Yeah, and something we always talk about, though, shot selection.
Well, being aggressive is one thing, but aggression with control is another, and you need both elements working together.
Now here's Dragic following the missed shot by Tobias Harris. Whiteside kicks to Waiters. Whiteside a screen. Whiteside a screen on Harris. Moves back up, and there's a whistle. He was going up for a layup, and while it looked like there was some contact, I wasn't sure they were going to call it a foul shot or not, but sure enough they have. So he'll head to the free throw line. Brent, you were known for your leaping ability. You won a dunk contest. We all remember it very vividly. During the pre-draft process, did they measure your max vertical?
They did, Kevin. At the Chicago pre-draft camp, you run through a series of tests there. Your conditioning, how your CO2 gets kicked out. They put this mask on you and check your stamina. There's a bunch of doctors in there poking and prodding. I won't go into detail about that.
Thank you.
But they did measure the max vertical during that Chicago pre-draft, and it was about 39-inch vertical leap, so not too bad.
Not too bad at all. Looking at who's out there now for the Pistons. Marjanovic checked in for Andre Drummond, and it's Johnson in for Harris. So he picks up just 1 from the line that time. And while most teams are moving in the direction of attacking from three-point range or inside, Greg, this Pistons team will still look to make a living in the mid-range game.
Yeah, and the Pistons right at the top of the NBA in terms of the highest percentage of their points coming from the mid-range. Almost 20% of their points coming from that area. You have to play to the strengths of your team, even in an ever-evolving game. Right now, that's where their bread is buttered.
Here's Jackson after the Heat pick up 2. There's a screen by Marjanovic. Back to Johnson. Shot clock at 6. Shot to stop the drought. And Marjanovic with the layup. Marjanovic has got his first points of the game.
Well, passing is something he does very well, especially when it comes to leading his man to the right spot.
Oh, Whiteside in position. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession. And a look here at the shot chart for the Heat.
And really what jumps out to me about this shot chart is just how aggressive he's been when on the floor. I mean, he's doing everything he can to get as close to the hoop as possible before putting up that shot, and it's worked out in a big way for him and his team.
A little under 2.5 minutes off the clock now here in the third. Dragic against Jackson. Pass to Marjanovic. Back to Jackson. Stolen by Waiters. And here they come. Right wing. Richardson kicks to Olynyk. Terrific design on the pick play, and he lays it in.
They needed a run desperately, and boy, did they come up big.
I just think it was a matter of getting recomposed, altering their game plan just a little bit. They look completely in sync now.
And they haven't been able to turn it into a big lead, but their rebounding advantage is starting to add up.
Dragic against Jackson. Dragic against the bucket.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Bradley kicks to Jackson. Pass to Marjanovic. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. Now that we have the chance to show you the teams in the top of the NBA in steals this year. The Heat in second.
You can't get careless with the basketball against this group. I mean, they'll pick your pocket, and no surprise to see them in the upper echelon as far as steals.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
The first one falls, and the Pistons making a change here. Smith is checked in. Adebayo is checked in for Miami. Winslow comes in for Richardson. And good on the second, so he makes them both.
You watch the Heat play, you watch their young athletes, and you think about the conditioning of all of their players. Allegedly, they have one of the toughest practice regimens in the league. I don't think guys get too fired up about their training camps, but certainly pays off throughout the course of the season.
Now here's Dragic. 6 points for him. 5 to shoot. Olynyk dishes to Dragic. The Heat keep it going. A new 24-second shot clock. Good. Adebayo's got his second basket. Guys, what a back-and-forth game this has been.
And that's already resulted in 7 lead changes.
Johnson with a screen on Dragic. Over in the corner. Lure. Detroit, no good that time either. And for the Heat, Brent, as bad as the workouts might be, the payoff is there.
Yeah, it's always amazing how many former Heat players talk about going down there and getting ground down. And if you're getting ground down in just a workout, what the heck are the practices like? So this is not a franchise or a team that's for everybody in the league, but that's what the Heat do. They sift through those kind of guys and then find out what Miami Heat players are out there and available, and then they bring those guys in.
And here's Miami. They're on a 16-6 run. Dragic the pass to Adebayo. From 11 feet away, Smith with the defensive effort. The Pistons trailing. Johnson kicks to Lure. That's in there. Johnson with the assist.
That's the kind of aggressive and assertive play they need as we get closer and closer to crunch time.
Here's Adebayo, and he stuffs it. What a pass to set him up.
Solid pass from Dragic there to set up his teammate.
Detroit's gotten blank from three-point land so far in the third. Still 0 for 3. There's a screen by Marjanovic. Shoots from the baseline, and Winslow pulls it down. Miami's gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. They get it back. The feed to Olynyk. Outside Dragic. Olynyk sets a screen for Dragic. Shot clock at 5. Waiters gets a wide open look. Adebayo, the second chance points on the tip in. Adebayo's got the lead up to 3 now for the Heat.
Well, the defense does not appear to be playing together out there right now. Lots of bad reach-ins and not enough getting in front of the man to stop the penetration.
Now a timeout called by Detroit.
And one thing they'll discuss are the defensive rotations. The other is in the matchups.
We're seeing very little help defense on the inside, and even when there is help, it's been ineffective.
Here's what Detroit's going with right now. Ellington comes in for John Lewis, and it's Kennard in for Bradley. The Heat also changing it up. James Johnson's checked in for Olynyk. Rodney McGruder comes in for Waiters, and it's Tyler Johnson in for Goran Dragic.
Great speed by Winslow there to get out in transition and wide, finding a way to capitalize on that opportunity.
In transition, here comes Miami. Pass to Adebayo. And another basket for Miami.
Such astounding shooting right now from him. He is untouchable from the perimeter. What a performance.
Johnson against Smith. The pass to Marjanovic. And taken away by Johnson. And now Winslow pushing it.
Oh, wow.
Man, check out the bench. That Winslow dunk energizing the entire team.
And that replay sponsored by Under Armour. Another unleash chaos moment, giving us an excellent perspective on the play. Here's Kennard. He has 5. Passes it to Marjanovic. And it's good. 2 points. Marjanovic has got 6.
And when the size advantage is as big as it was there, I mean, that's exactly what he's supposed to do in that situation.
And he can do a lot more damage to the rim than that when he wants to.
Oh, you're right. And with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one. James Johnson, the journeyman forward, the kind of player that can eat up minutes at either forward position, Brent, and just do whatever he has to do to contribute to the team on offense.
Again, one of the guys who last year benefited from an incredible run from the teammates around him, and his skills were on full display. At his size, puts the ball down, shoots the 3, goes in and will dunk on somebody. Played with incredible aggressive mindset last year and became a candidate for one of the league's most improved players.
And probably the prime memories with the Heat have to be from the Big 3 era. I mean, the team has done a great job of transitioning from that era to this current one, but classic example for me of reloading versus rebuilding.
Here's Kennard. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. Shot is good, and the Heat's lead is cut down to 7 on the bucket from Johnson.
And when the D is this non-existent, it's pretty easy for shooters. Fishing with dynamite.
Here's Smith, and the layup is good. Smith's got 4 points this quarter. And Greg, credit the Miami Heat front office and coaching staff for continuing to keep this team competitive despite losing several Hall of Fame type players in the last couple of years.
And that is never an easy task for a franchise to go through. But the Heat have stayed in the competitive picture with smart signings and trades, and don't discount the impact Eric Spoelstra has had on that roster.
Kennard's shot is off. The Heat leading by 5. Winslow kicks to Johnson. Here's Magruder, and that one is hammered home.
And he just dangles from the bucket after sending that one through.
And you can see which team has the swagger right now. Now, here is Smith. He's got 5. Pass to Marjanovic. 1:53 left in the third quarter. And Marjanovic with the slam.
And I tell you what, he is one guy you do not stand in the way of when he decides to attack the basket.
Miami's gone 1 of 4 in 3-point shots here in the third. Here's Johnson. This one on the play. Bucket's good. He'll go to the line.
Absolutely fearless. I mean, a nice subtle adjustment there going up against Wynn.
Yeah, this is the feel of a player to use his body to keep the shot from being blocked. Excellent work there.
Drummond's checked in for the Pistons. Harris comes in for Stanley Johnson. And that one falls for Johnson. Pistons trail by 8. Drummond, a screen. Drummond sets the screen for Harris. And there's Drummond. That's good on the assist by Harris. 14 points for Andre Drummond.
He doesn't do some of the damage that other big men do on the perimeter, but inside, Drummond's got just as much game as anybody.
Here's Adebayo. He's got 12. That shot wide open. Johnson's got 8 here in the quarter.
Guys, his consistency in terms of shooting has really helped them seize control.
Smith dishes to Drummond. Back to Smith. Feeds it to Ellenson. He kicks it to Drummond. Pistons passing it around. 6 to shoot. The shot's good from Kennard.
Oh, nice screen. Really a poor defensive reaction and the obvious result.
Yeah, when you fail to get over the top, more than likely that jumper is going to go down.
Here's Magruder. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. Johnson the screen. Adebayo passes to Magruder. They set the pick. The Heat need to get a shot off. And the 3-ball is good. Johnson's got 5 points so far.
Not everything fell for him in that first half, and now it looks like they're beginning to hit their stride.
Pass to Kennard. Back to Smith. Left side, Harris. He dishes it to Drummond. Now the pass to Kennard. And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline. And so it's the Miami Heat in the driver's seat, up 8 points at the end of the quarter. They're pounding the ball inside, and that's where they've gotten their best production tonight. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Let's listen in now to head coach Stan Van Gundy from a few moments ago.
You're going to have to help and float, not just stand near. Everybody's just trying to keep their guy from scoring. Come on now, we got to be better than this, guys.
And pleading for better help defensively, Stan Van Gundy telling his guys that that almost is not just going to cut it in a game like this.
Yeah, I mean, they've been lacking in terms of aggressiveness on that end, and as a result, the stops just haven't been there.
3 quarters in the books, folks. Glad to have you with us. Welcome back as we get going. On the floor for Miami, starting the fourth. They've got Whiteside. Richardson is out there with James Johnson. And it's Tyler Johnson, and it's Magruder in at the 2.
And really credit their advantage on the backboard. That's where the lead has been built, and that's why they are in control.
Now here's Whiteside. Johnson outside. Back to Whiteside. Shoots over Ellenson. And no good. Trying to use the glass.
Oh, you just relish those kind of opportunities. And the defense got lucky, but they need to guard that area of the floor a little bit better.
Whistle blows. Yep, that's going to be a travel. Miami leading by 8. Johnson kicks to Whiteside. From 12 feet out, they grab their own miss. And there's the bucket from Magruder.
And every offensive board is an extra possession. If you're trying to compete from this far down, you cannot allow that.
Yeah, second chance points are demoralizing, especially after you worked hard to get the stop in the first place.
Johnson kicks to Whiteside. Now here's Richardson. Tight defense on him. Passes to Magruder. Johnson the screen. Lets it go from deep. Sinks the triple.
Really in a good position thanks to the accuracy from beyond.
Pistons trail by 13. Jackson passes to Kennard. The dish to Ellenson. Kicks it to Jackson. There's the pick. Drummond a screen, and the foul called on Hassan Whiteside. And that'll be his third foul so far.
Man, it's close, but, you know, didn't get on balance quick enough.
A different look here for Detroit. Lure comes in for Ellenson, and Bradley subbed in for Kennard. Dion Waiters checked in for the Heat. Dragic comes in for Tyler Johnson.
Great positioning on the glass, jumping all over that miss and sticking it back in.
Johnson with a screen on Jackson. Dragic dishes to Johnson. He feeds it to Whiteside. Right block shot. Kicks it to Waiters. Pass to Dragic. Dishes to Johnson. Now the feed to Whiteside. In the corner, it's Richardson. From downtown. Rebounded by the Pistons. Drummond's got his 16th rebound on the night. Bradley kicks to Lure. And Whiteside sends it back.
Well, those kind of shots should come with a warning label. Caution, Hassan Whiteside is around. He's simply one of the best shot blockers in the league. And seems to be forcing just a little bit out there. He needs to play a little calmer, a little smarter, with a little bit more poise if they're going to win this one.
Just creating havoc for the opponents the last few games.
You saw by that putback there, he's just completely locked in. They're getting full contributions from him right now.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over.
Yeah, he needs to tell his guys to just box out with some energy. That's basic basketball. They've been lazy on the backboard and have allowed way too many second chance points.
The Heat making a switch here. Olynyk's checked in. From the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Hey, Kevin, during the last break, I heard Stan Van Gundy as he talked with his team. He was not pleased. He said, you guys look dead out there. Told them they've got to play with more activity. And then he said, this is not going to cut it. I have to see who's going to step it up, guys.
And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Whiteside. And a little over 3.5 minutes in the books so far here in the fourth. Feeds it to Drummond. Back to Jackson. And the three off target.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Whiteside sets the pick for Waiters. Goes up off the pick. And Waiters with the stuff.
And because he likes to handle the ball, Waiters is dynamite in the pick and roll.
Jackson against Dragic. He tries for three. That's in, and the Miami lead is cut down to just 12 points with the basket from Lure.
Well, the defense very attentive to him in the first quarter, but he's finally gotten loose in the second and making them pay.
Now here's Waiters. Shoots over Bradley. Stayed with it, but they couldn't get it to fall.
Right now he's just out of sync. A lot of shots rimming out, and he's got to try to find something different.
Here's Jackson, and he banks in the layup.
And that's about as easy as it gets. Not many guys are going to blow wide open layups at the professional level like that.
And Waiters kicks to Olynyk. Right side a screen. Olynyk the pass to Dragic. The offensive rebound. Waiters for three. It's good from long range. And the Heat lead by 13.
Let's face it, with this guy, it is bombs away every chance he gets. You got to get up on Waiters.
Jackson against Dragic. Back to Lure. The tray. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. Jackson's got his 7th assist in the game.
You know, you hear that A word all the time, aggressive, and sometimes just being that can turn your game around. He's been that in the second half, their go-to guy here.
Now here's Dragic. Whiteside loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. Whiteside's got 4 points this quarter. Outside Bradley. Drummond with a screen on Waiters. It's hauled in by the Heat. The biggest lead of the game, 15 points. Dragic kicks to Olynyk. They set the screen. The baseline J. And he didn't get quite enough under that one. Pistons trail by 12. Outside Bradley. And another make to his scoring column. His 5th basket of the game. Now shooting 5 of 11. Miami's gotten off 4 3-pointers in the final quarter, and 2 of them have fallen. It's stolen by Harris. And here comes Jackson leading the fast break. Good on the shot, and that shaves the lead to single digits.
And a few more plays like that are all they need to make their comeback bid a real one.
Waiters dishes to Whiteside. Jackson against Dragic. Kicks it to Waiters. Sinks the triple. And the Heat lead by 11. The Pistons have gone 6 of 13, so just above 46% on their field goal attempts here in the quarter. Outside Bradley. Lure the screen. He kicks to Jackson. And stolen by Richardson. Oh, and a fast break for the Heat. Waiters leading the... Oh!
And I think that's the preference from Waiters. He should attack the rim more often.
Brett, last season you can think of several huge plays and big shots for Dion Waiters. He had a handful of game winners for his team, and one thing Waiters has is the confidence to take that last shot with the game on the line.
Well, I remember the quote from Waiters where he said, I'd rather go 0 for 30 than 0 for 9, because if you go 0 for 9, that means you stop shooting. I guarantee you any coach he plays for would have him stop at 0 for 9. But the confidence is there always for Dion Waiters.
Pistons trail by 14. Smith with it. Harris setting the pick for Smith. Harris outside. Slammed home, and he draws the foul. A chance for another point at the free throw line. They get Hassan Whiteside.
Terrific job by Smith to dish that one off to his open teammate right there.
One shot.
That's good from Harris. Miami leading by 11. Dragic kicks to Olynyk. Teardrop shot. Rebounded by the Pistons. Lure's got 3 rebounds now in this one.
And thus far, they've managed to overcome an off game from him offensively.
Two shots.
That's good from Harris.
Wow, they've made every free throw here in the second half.
And Harris drops them both. Here's Waiters. Gets a hand on it, and Whiteside stays right with it. Whiteside's got 9 points now in just the second half.
Not sure if physically you could put Whiteside's game in a nutshell. A guy who hustles and tracks down hard rebounds and then turns them into easy points for his team.
Now here is Harris. And it's Whiteside with the rebound. Oh, and a fast break for the Heat. Here's Dragic. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
You wonder if all the injuries last year allowed Goran Dragic the opportunity to return to some of his early form that we saw in Phoenix. Open court style of play, playing with speed and pace and some room to create. What a recovery year it was for him.
2, gentlemen.
First free throw is good. And last season, Dragic did step up to a larger role for his offense. Brenny took more shots and played more minutes.
Well, I think stylistically, because Dwayne Wade wasn't with the Miami Heat, and what it was that happened with that incredible run they had, the floor was open, the space was available, and Dragic ended up becoming a much more effective offensive weapon.
And, you know, last season, it seemed like it was a strong return to form for Goran Dragic. Was able to be more ball dominant when he was on the floor. And that style seems to work to his advantage. And he just seemed more comfortable in his role with this team.
Greg, with Dragic and his statistical resurgence for several seasons, he had been sharing playmaking duties with guys like Wade and Bledsoe.
And as great as those players are, Dragic is best when he's the lead guard. Seems to be best paired with a shooter. A player's mentality can change when he is or isn't the primary ball handler, and that's been the case with Dragic.
And the first one drops. So, Brent, less than 0.1% of NBA fans bother to vote for the All-Star game. Do you think the league should devise a different way to choose the players for that big mid-season event?
I'd really like, again, this is an area, Kevin, that the league has done a great job of being a bit progressive with the way they've changed the All-Star balloting. 50% of the vote now going to the fans, 25% to the players, and 25% to the media. It's a way to make sure that guys who are having tremendous seasons are recognized both by their peers and their media rather than the fans getting ahead of some marketing scheme. So this has been addressed.
Perfect.
And every move he makes looks like the right one at this point.
Yeah, shooting at a very high percentage right now. This one extending the lead.
Now here's Bradley. Pass to Drummond, and it's Drummond with the jam.
And no doubt they'd love to see him get a lot more of those opportunities.
And that deficit will go away quickly if he does, Greg. Richardson against Harris. Screen by Olynyk. Here's Waiters. No stopping him there. Jams it in as he's fouled. A chance now for a three-point play. Andre Drummond picks one up.
And those are the kinds of plays that are just killing them right now.
One shot, mind the lanes.
Free throw, good. Waiters.
Still struggling to find some consistency as an offensive player, but Waiters does get to the free throw line a fair amount for a guy who shoots so many threes.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over.
Yeah, you can't make any excuses right now for them giving the ball up as much as they have in this one. Hopefully they can get on the same page during this timeout.
A chance now to recognize our Jordan player of the game, Hassan Whiteside.
And guys, no doubt who our pick was going to be. He's made everyone else on the court look like they're playing at half speed. It's been total domination, and you can't help but just sit back and admire that performance.
This was a big game for him. There's no denying that. Coming off a bunch of losses in a row, they turned to him to break the streak, and he delivered in a big way. Pistons trail by 14. Drummond a screen. Bradley, that's for two. And it's Hassan Whiteside with the rebound.
Yeah, it's been about the rebounding. Really, that's the dividing line in this game.
Now Dragic. Whiteside sets the pick for Dragic. 5 to shoot. Olynyk has the open look. That three off the mark. Detroit's gone 2 of 5 on three-point shots since the end of the third quarter. Bradley passes to Harris. Back to Bradley. From the line. No good on the shot. A bit long that time.
And he completely threw the timing off on that jumper. That is how you D up.
Playing with tremendous aggressiveness without fouling. That's an excellent job.
Now here's Dragic. Olynyk, a screen on Lure. Here's Dragic. Well-placed jumper from the free throw line. And he's now got the double-double. 10 points and 10 assists. Dragic against Smith. Inside, here's Harris. And count it, and a chance for one more at the free throw line.
The defender must have felt like he ran into a brick wall right there. Really great screen set to give his teammate the wide open shot.
Brent, many teams have cracked down on cell phone use during practices and during games. Can anything be done on a league level in that regard?
Hold on, Kevin. I'm getting a call.
Okay, good. Yeah. Can you put him on hold for just a second?
Yeah, Mom, I'm talking to Kevin Harlan. Yeah, it's a different age. I don't think the league, Kevin, can do anything with regards to how players use their mobile devices. That's up to the team and how it is a coach make sure that the demands of what your practice schedule is and your game schedule and your attentiveness to those times that you need to be there, that takes precedent.
If they want to, they can milk the clock just a little bit here.
Yeah, that's the best option.
Right side a screen. Waiters with the ball. Now guarded by Bradley. Right side. Good D by Drummond.
And you got to give him credit there. Great effort to contest that shot.
Well, I love the fact that they put the security system on their house, protecting the paint there.
And these are the types of games where one team clearly has the edge. Tonight, it will be a win by a large margin for the Heat.
The bench gave him a big lift in this game.
And listen, Kevin, anytime your reserves can perform at a level that high, it puts you in an excellent position to win the game.
And it'll mark their 4th win on the year. Actually, their 5th win on the year.
They can chalk this one up, but these two teams will see plenty more of one another before the season's over.
And one of the key components to this victory, if not the biggest, was the incredible performance for Hassan Whiteside.
And the way he rebounded, he surely was a spark for the team as he was securing everything that came off the iron.
And the shot goes down.
I like that recognition. Effortlessly getting his teammate the ball in a spot where he knows he can do something with it.
Here's Waiters. And so it's Miami winning this one. They came in here and took care of business like they were the home team.
And Kevin, how about the mental toughness that this group showed? They were never rattled at all by the opposing fans.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks, Kevin. Goran, congrats on the win tonight. Bench really came through tonight. What all has to happen for this team to really be clicking?
I mean, everybody's playing hard, you know, even the guys from the bench. You know, we need everybody, even including the bench. Everybody have to be focused, play hard, and especially in defense.
True team effort, got it done tonight. Thanks, Goran. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that about wraps it up. For Greg Anthony, Brett Barry, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. And we'll see you next time.